Good evening, friends. Thanks for your valuable comments on my videos on Twitter, Koo, and Twitter. I make sure that I read all of them and post them on social media. If you like our videos, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and share it with your friends. Today we had Savio and myself were invited by Sandeep Fogart to his channel. And if you want, you can watch the session later after this session. We discussed various topics. The first piece of news that I'd like to share with you, which will affect the SSR case, is that a high-powered committee led by the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, will be meeting on May 24th to select the next CBI chief, sources said. Along with Mr. Modi, Chief Justice of India, Justice N.V. Ramana, and Leader of Opposition, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, will also take part in the meeting. The government handed over names of officers, including Kerala DGP Loknath Behra. Other noted officers joined the probable list include current CBI Chief Praveen Sinha, BSF Chief Rakesh Asthana, NIA Chief YC Modi, CISF Subodh Kant Jaiswal, ITB Chief Deswal, and UP DGP Avasthi. Currently, Praveen Sinha, a 1988 batch Gujarat cadre of IPS officer, is holding the position as the acting CBI chief after the tenure of former CBI director Rishi Kumar Shukla, which ended on February 3. Praveen Sinha, the CBI additional director, will hold the position of acting director till the time the committee appoints the next chief of the top investigative officer agency. Rishi Kumar Shukla was appointed the CBI director on February 4, 2019, after the then CBI director Alok Verma was removed by the government. Rishi Kumar had an altercation with Asthana, and that's how he was removed. Now, we hope that some good news will come once the new CBI director is, chief is, appointed, and I sure hope it is Rakesh Asthana, because the immense and intense work he has been doing as the NCB chief has been spoken about by Samir Wankade himself, who said that he has been given a lot of freedom to to arrest all these drug peddlers and drug dons, and it is only because of the kind of freedom that Rakesh Asthana gave. So I hope that Rakesh Asthana will be appointed as the next CBI chief. This is our hope. Meanwhile, BJP, in a shocking piece of news, releases a Congress toolkit and accuses it of using COVID-19 pandemic to defame Prime Minister Modi. The BJP has alleged that Congress has released a cornering Narendra Modi and BJP on COVID mismanagement, a toolkit to target the center amid the COVID pandemic. Most of us all knew that it was a targeted attack, but now Sambit Patra has spoken about it. BJP national spokesperson Sambit Patra came heavily on the alleged Congress toolkit, doing rounds on social media, slamming the party for attempting to defame the Prime Minister and the Government of India amid the COVID-19 crisis in the country. The toolkit highlights how the Congress party wants to strengthen itself using the pandemic. It has exposed the intentions and its attempts to spread misinformation in the country, said Sambit Patra. Reading the various columns listed under the toolkit, he alleged that Congress was attempting to tarnish PM Modi's image using various methods, used resources created on social media to question his incompetence from handles which looks like Modi or BJP supporters. Roping in foreign publication is mentioned. This kind of a web is being spun. We are seeing this happen in international media. Now we know the Congress party and Rahul Gandhi are behind it, he said. They're talking about magnifying the matter using images of dead bodies. My heart aches to see that Congress is using the deceased for its toolkit. It is urging volunteers to use dependable words for Modi so that it becomes acceptable. Instead of fighting corona, looking at ways to help patients, they are building a toolkit to demean the nation. They want Indian strain to be used in articles. This has shown the true face of the Congress. It is the same design that Rahul Gandhi follows to tweet, he added. The BJP had alleged that Congress has released a cornering Narendra Modi and BJP on COVID mismanagement toolkit to target the center as the nation reels with the COVID-19 pandemic. In the alleged toolkit, the Congress party has laid down a series of actions that should be taken by its party leaders in tandem with certain media publications to corner the Modi government and various BJP governments in the country. The BJP has alleged that a special emphasis has been placed on media and international media covering on super spreader Kumbh Mela. It is important to keep using the term super spreader Kumbh to keep reminding the people that it is the Hindu politics of BJP that is causing so much distress, the alleged report states. The alleged report also focuses on mobilizing former civil servants to raise questions about PM cares, focusing on building a narrative that PM Modi is providing special treatment to Gujarat has also been stated in the report the BJP claims. Meanwhile, the Indian Youth Congress has strongly denied the toolkit, calling it a fake and morphed document, alleging that it was an attempt by the BJP to discredit the work being done by the party. Friends, if you're looking at my view, I would say that India is facing a war on two fronts. The Chinese virus and the Dynasty Congress virus, which is the toolkit exposed now by BJP. Dividing India and attempting to fracture the Indian social fabric with communal hatred is Congress's second nature. Disgraceful to see the Congress party and its leaders engaging in political deception to mislead citizens and create roadblocks for the nation. The Congress toolkit exposes the dirty mindset of the party leaders and their followers. It's unfortunate that they want to defame a Hindu festival as Kumbh as a super spreader. This is not new for Congress. It shows their anti-India mindset. They want to denigrate our culture across the globe. And now, as the toolkit is exposed, Congress lies completely exposed. My question to Congress would be, since you don't have the guts to call COVID-19 a Chinese virus, you now want to term it a Modi strain. If this is all true, it clearly shows that you're anti-national and working hand in glove with China. Don't forget that it was Rahul Gandhi's former business partner's wife, Sonia Falero, who was amongst the first to use the Modi variant. Sonia is wife of Ulrich McKnight, Rahul Gandhi's business partner in Backups consulting firm, which he founded in 2003. And Sonia's blue-eyed boy, Shashi Tharoor, wrote about her article, saying that it is superbly researched and marvelously written by the admirable Sonia Falero. What is wrong with this man? And how many Sonias does Italy have to backstab India? And suppose we were to assume that Congress had no toolkit and the Congress toolkit exposed isn't authentic. So is the natural thought process of Congress to label a virus by calling it an Indian variant? Why drag India into it? Is hatred for Modi so much that you defame India? This party has become notorious for playing politics on dead bodies. They have survived on mass murders, communal riots, and created a constant divide between different communities. And if this is true, this is a treason in the midst of a bio-warfare against India. And if it is true, Sonia Gandhi and her clan need to be probed and arrested if they're found guilty and working against the interests of India. We hope now that BJP becomes tough enough and provides enough evidence, to get these people in jail. You'll remember, friends, the kind of things the Congress were, backing, right from the Cambridge Analytica to climate activist Greta Thunberg's toolkits were used maximum by the Dynasty Family Congress and all opposition alliances in India to discredit Prime Minister Modi's governance policies for the last 6 years. The award wapasi, the anti-CAA, the farmers' agitation, and many more issues were used lavishly for it. Now, Corona is the latest issue in which mass PR is being carried out by the Dynasty Congress to tarnish Modi's Corona policies inside and outside. Moreover, you have global media as well. You're talking about CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, New York Times, Washington Post. All this is anti-India media. And they've been selected by the dynasty and given the special toolkit. Modi resigned hashtag instructions to highlight maximum capsules narrations on the second corona pandemic in India. If one may watch these foreign channels, video footage write-ups will see every 1 hour intervals update capsules about corona epidemic spread in India with a lot of concern about the plight of patients and relatives with utter lies and false information. The dynasty family led by Congress is frantic and desperate now without power. It is a shame on the Hindus who are supporting Congress even after Modi has established his credibility as a PM. In another piece of news, Adar Poonawalla exits PB. He sells entire stake for 118 crores. The Serum Institute of India CEO Adar Poonawalla on Monday offloaded his entire stake in Panacea Biotech, amounting to 5.15% shareholding of the firm for rupees 118 crores through an open market transaction. The shares were picked up by Serum Institute of India. As per BSE block deal data, Poonawalla sold 31,57,034 scrips he held in the firm at a price of rupees 373.85 per share, taking the total value of the deal to rupees 118.02 crores. The shares were picked up by SIL at the same price through a separate transaction. As per shareholding data for March 2021 quarter, both Poonawalla and SII were public shareholders in the firm and held 5.15% and 4.98% stake in Panacea, respectively. Shares of Panacea Biotech on Monday ended at rupees 384.9 a piece, 1.16% higher over the previous close. The moon, Mars, and beyond. China has ambitious plans in space. Having orbited the planet since February, the Chinese craft called Tianwen-1 is expected to send a landing vehicle on a difficult descent through the thin Martian atmosphere, possibly as soon as Saturday. If all goes well, that vehicle and the land rover it is carrying will join 3 NASA spacecraft that are already surveying the planet. China is about to attempt something that only the US and the Soviet Union have done before: successfully land a spacecraft on the surface of Mars. Having orbited the planet since February, the Chinese craft called Tianwen-1 is expected to send a landing vehicle on a difficult descent through the thin Martian atmosphere, possibly as soon as Saturday. If all goes well, the vehicle and the land rover it is carrying will join 3 NASA spacecraft. The Chinese Mars mission may seem less, sort of erotic than NASA's latest, since it essentially is repeating feats that the Americans accomplished decades ago. But it represents another milestone in China's ambition to make itself a great space power, as its top leader, Xi Jinping, put it last month. China has said it plans to send a second lander to Mars by 2028 and ultimately to bring samples back from the planet. It's a complex feat, and NASA and the European Space Agency are already working on it, with the hopes that soil and rock collection by Perseverance can be brought home in 2031. China's mission could happen in this decade, setting up a potential race. In addition to the possibility of a future crewed mission to Mars, China is planning a single 10-year mission to collect a sample from an asteroid and pass by a comet. It has also proposed orbiters for Venus and Jupiter. In 2024, it plans to launch an orbiting telescope similar to the Hubble, which was first launched in 1990. Meanwhile, the CBSE is currently being flooded by requests from students and parents to cancel the upcoming CBSE Class 12 board exams 2021. In view of the pandemic, no official statement regarding the same has been made yet. Students and parents have started a campaign on social media using Modi ji cancel 12th boards and cancel board exams 2021 on their posts, urging the government and CBSE to do away with the conduction of board exams this academic session. The CBSE board exam 2021 was supposed to commence from May 4th, but the board postponed the Class 12 exams and cancel the Class 10 exams in view of the rise of COVID cases across the country. The evaluation pattern for Class 10 students has also been released. Meanwhile, Bollywood continues to clamor for importance through their PR agents. Amitabh Bachchan says his office got flooded after Cyclone Tauktae hits Mumbai. He informed fans that his office, Janak, was flooded after the cyclone hit Mumbai. He said there is an eerie silence in the midst of the cyclone, the pounding and the lashing rains all day, trees fell, leakages all over, flooding in the vulnerable Janak office, impromptu plastic cover sheets still in a prep for the heavy monsoon rain, ripped apart sheds and shelters for some staff blown away, he wrote. Amitabh Bachchan further shared that his staff was quick to salvage the situation. Calling them simply amazing in such conditions, he said they continued their work while dripping in the rain. The actor then offered them clothes from his wardrobe, and he shared how they were moving proudly as Chelsea and Jaipur Pink Panther supporters. Amitabh still thinks people wait to hear news about him. That was in the past, Lambuji. Another man who constantly clamors for PR and receives none is Akshay Kumar. He now tells friendly media that he was embarrassed seeing his first screen test and said that he will lose his job. You too, Akshay, have become as irrelevant as Amitabh and Salman Khan. Looks like everyone from Salman Khan to his past girlfriend, Jacqueline Fernandez, love playing cop. Maybe they're all impressed by Samir Wankare. When people really know what their actual roles are in life. It seems Jacqueline will play a cop in her Hollywood debut, and that a few sequences were shot in CST police station. All we remember is that she was first the girlfriend of Farah Khan's brother, then Imtiaz Khatri, then Salman Khan, and now not sure whose girlfriend. That's Bollywood for you. Change boyfriends and girlfriends like clothes. That's all the news for today, friends. Let me just have a look at your comments as well. Hello, Nancy Sur. Welcome. Sanjay. Yes, this is what all of us, including the show that we had with the other channel with Savio in Sandeep Fogat's channel, was that see BJP should take strict action against the toolkit, which is now being pushed by Congress. If this is proved, then they need to take strict action on them and not leave it lightly. Welcome, Sunanda Bere. Sanjay Shinde. Pappu wants government to lock him up in jail. Suggestion by one of the viewers was that please cancel the bail and your wishes will be fulfilled. This is something he keeps talking. He keeps talking nonsense. God alone knows in which sort of mood or frame of mind he is. Sunanda Bere, when will Savio Sir be live with you? Waiting in anticipation. Read his articles on Goa Chronicle on Chinese. It was massive. Yes, he will join us very soon, Sunanda. He was with us today on Sandeep Fogat's program. NC, good evening. Good evening, Dhruv. Kritika, hello. Welcome. Rochelle, good evening. Thank you, Rochelle, for always joining me and posting your comments. United Hindu, thank you for joining. Geeta, hope for good news in SSR case. Yes. If we have someone like Rakesh Asthana, yes, we can hope for something really strong. Shubha, just watched you and Savio in Fogatvan. Thank you. Thank you, Shubha, for joining me here as well. Tansi Sood, Mr. Sampit Patra tweeted that they have named the new virus strain as Modi strain. Yeah, this is to malign him, the way they did it to Trump, they're trying it now with Modi, because Trump stood against China. He called it a Chinese virus. He was the only person in the world who stood, shoulder to shoulder with China and attacked them. Indira, no one had the courage to point out the real source of COVID, which originated. It's ridiculous. Trump did say that, Indira. Geeta, paid media is another threat. Yes, absolutely. You saw the kind of vultures who sit in front of cremation grounds and try to show that, all the fake stories and the fake pictures that they post, for foreign media. And Nancy, so then what What should the spreader be called? When WP CM yesterday broke all COVID rules and surround CBI office in West Bengal with a very big mob and even went against constitution. I don't know, Nancy Sochi. This lady gets away with murder and still nothing is done. Unless the Prime Minister does something tough, these people will continue to play with people's lives. Welcome, Mamta. Good evening, Nathan. Seema, we'll continue supporting Modi ji at any cost. He is the only one who can unite India. Nancy Soos, the print, the wire, and NDTV. There are many more, Nancy Soos. You can add to this list. There are so many who are funded by foreign forces. And who have sold our country to the devils. Nitin, all toolkit media and opposition leaders to be in jail on conspiracy against India and PM of India in pandemic emergency-like situation to disturb the communal peace. Strong action to be taken. Yes. Hopefully that will be done. Nitin, these people, same doings past Chaukidar Chor hai, now Modi Hatao movement, we are with Modi and police support. Absolutely. And so, please invite Mr. Anil Chudasama for a session on your channel. Sure, we will try, Nancy. Hello, Gloria. Welcome. Nice of you to join. Power of Love, thank you so much. Thank you, Power of Love, for joining. Nitin, Papu comment, I'll destroy Modi's image, arrest him, and you don't know, as I said, in what state he is. We all know what he consumes and the way he behaves. Nancy Sir, thanks for the news update. Thank you, Nancy Sir. Dhruv, really not at all interested in Aukat Wali sir or the Thali Wali. Absolutely, Dhruv. Hi, dear, you're doing a wonderful and commendable job. Thank you, Meera. Thank you for joining and the positive comments as well. Sunil, BJP will not take any action. I am sure this will not be the end. They'll continue more mistakes, thereby exposing themselves. Let us hope, Sunil. And we end on a sort of a positive note. Hello, Sadhana. My good friend. How are you? Sadhanam, viewers, is one of the top Kathakali artists in Kerala. And he comes out with the most creative plays. And he is one of the best Kathakali artists I have ever met. Thank you, Sadhana. Sunil, BJP has to make sure all their support system is finished before sending them to jail. Yes, absolutely. Sherry, good that you're safe from the cyclone. Yes, Sherry, we kept praying for all the people. Bharti, Namaste from Namibia. Sorry, missed the session today. Please watch the session after this is over. I count on your support. And now I see only 3 likes. Friends, please continue to like the channel and to share it. It helps a lot in spreading the message. Trump also got out of WHO, stopped. Yes, that's one of the reasons why he was removed. Dhruv, every time Nambuji is tweeting to glorify himself, if he's really generous, he can do much more things for the welfare of society. I agree with you 100%, Dhruv. See, he is the kind of devious character that we see who speaks something and does exactly the opposite. And his wife, of course, now has built quite a reputation about herself and her family. Sanjay, Chinese virus supported by WHO, Wuhan Health Organization. They are just a slave. Lakshmi, Bollywood is shameless to call. Suddenly, Mr. Sood gives a live interview. Guess where? CNN. How surprising it is that they found this messiah all of a sudden to interview. No other corona warriors are visible. Lakshmi, here I'd like to point out, I don't know whether you've been watching CNN, last year when Trump was there. Every day from morning to night, they would bash Trump. It was just like, they would sit and plan in which ways to attack the president. It was so cheap, and we could make out the way, the way their faces would, become terrible, and the anger that they used to, spew against the president. They're all paid media. Hello, Sri. Welcome. Divine. Hi, Meena. The pandemic has been planned thanks to Bill Gates, and he has had a big investments for the Chinese land. This has been going on for... Yeah, see, this was announced long before the virus itself came. Everybody knows it was developed in a lab. Rochelle, thank you, Ms. Meena. See you tomorrow. Yes. Nancy Sue? Yes, ma'am, you're right. Only Trump had the gumption to call the COVID virus as Chinese virus and paid a heavy price for it. Yes. MRK, India's enemy is from within. Absolutely. COVID-19 is itself inhumanity to all. Punishment is due for them who are responsible for the virus. God is not blind. He's given eyes to all. He's a great watcher. Time will speak. Watched you with Xavier before this super session. Thank you, Pierre, for supporting us. MRK, it's time Modi ji takes stern action against our internal enemies. That is the need of the moment, MRK. Ravi Prasad, ma'am, why anti-nationals get bigger platform and international support than nationalistic people in India? That's what you say is so true, Ravi. Everything seems so topsy-turvy. The people who are actually patriotic, they do it on their own. They don't ask for any funds. You know, none of us really ever ask them for anything. But the people who are anti-national get all the support and also the financial aid, you know, to push their voices to the world. Geeta, kudos to you, Sadhana. Dance is a beautiful art. Sri Kanaka, very happy to you are from Kerala. The glow from your face shows you're from God's own country. It's a most beautiful country, state, Sri Kanaka, but communists have completely spoiled it. It was the cradle of culture. We had the greatest literary figures, artists, musicians. I know, but everything has been destroyed by this Communist Party under Pinrai. Sanjay, thanks and good night. Good night, Sanjay. Thanks for joining. Hi, Stella. So much energy. You have to jump from a video chat to another. Thank you, Stella, always for joining and always for supporting us. Thank you, Jyoti. What is preventing BJP from hiring? Jyoti, you have to ask them directly that. CNN, NDT, yes. Hi, ma'am. It's nice to listen to you. Dr. Uma, thank you, Uma, for joining us. Gloria, ma'am, watched you and Savio on Fogat's channel. Thanks for the news. You give us almost every day. Thank you, Gloria, for also joining us. And it's always a pleasure to listen to your comments. Stella, Fogat's session with you and Savio was very interesting. Thank you so much, Stella, for listening. Lakshmi, Modi needs to use Chadia says, say Lati charge and throw all these different groups targeting him and creating confusion in people to suppress their voice. Yes, I agree, Lakshmi. Sunanda, the sessions with Savio, sir, are always very informative. Thank you so much. Yes, when good speakers come, it's a very enlightening session, Sunanda. Now, because globalists want to remove national boundaries and make it a global one world. Yes. And also to depopulate the world now. Biden belongs to Barack Obama group. Are they both have the same agenda? Yes, all of them. Hillary Clinton, all of them are the same. Gita, hope communism ends soon. Yes, they just started their 5-year. Now, many nationalist channels on YouTube are getting banned as they're making more people aware of the truth. Nancy, yeah, and that's why support from all of you is most important. Nancy Sue, for us to go, carry on, you need to share our channel with others and make people aware of the truth. Ravi Prasad, Kerala is God's own country, but ruled by devil's tongue. Yes. Sunanda, the sessions with Savio sir, always very full. Yes, absolutely. Grace, in Asian news, Hindi showing the person is alive and they're sending the body for cremation. Hospitals have lost their brains. I don't know which place, but in Hindi, really sad to know about India. Grace, this is all fake news, so kindly do not believe everything that you see. I don't know, you're a Keralite, ma? I am, yes. And my parents are from Kerala. Garima Chowdhury, hello, Meenama. Welcome for joining us, Garima. So I think that's all the news for today. We'll join you tomorrow in an interesting session, friends, with Mohandas Pai. He's one of the leading corporate people, and he's also very philosophic. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the middle class wars, the middle class section, people losing jobs, many of them being depressed during COVID times, and what is the kind of solution, uh, he can, offer so that the government can listen. Please join me tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Thank you and good night.